Welcome to Lovejoy High School. My name is Wayne Dillon, and it's my pleasure to be the spokesperson for the adjudicators for your performance here in the National Jazz Festival. First of all, thanks for participating in the festival. I hope you had a great time in preparing the repertoire, and I certainly enjoyed listening to you. I'm going to give you a combination of some general and some specific takeaways from your performance. So again, thank you for being part of the festival. I hope you had a great school year and wish you all the very best of luck in your future musical endeavors. First of all, the band played very well on the recording. It was obviously well rehearsed and well prepared by your members and your director, so congrats on that. I really enjoyed the repertoire choices. They had good variety, and you certainly demonstrated a strong understanding of style. In general, I think the band can play with a bit more conviction and expressiveness. What do I mean by that? Like really digging into dynamics. You can look at it phrase by phrase and ask yourself, well, how can we do more with maybe note weighting? How can we create greater contrasts with accented and non-accented notes in the phrase? And then in a more general sense, sweeping dynamics. How full is the dynamic range? Do you get to a true fortissimo? Do you get to a true pianissimo? That type of thing. And I think that could really give the band a different sort of identity, if you will. So what am I saying? Take more risks with expression in shading and dynamics and make that more of a priority. And as I mentioned, just creating a larger dynamic range that the band plays in. The band plays with a very good sound and pitch, especially in the lower and mid dynamic levels. There's a real sense of control there, so that's terrific. In the opener, I think you could probably swing a little harder on the shuffle, that shuffle swing feel. And how do we know to do that? Listening. Just find great examples of Art Blakey and the Jazz Messengers, and listen to how that band does with the swing feel and the shuffle feels. In fact, I could talk all day on that, but that's really where the answers are. They're in the recording. So whether you're trying to lift or transcribe a solo, or you're just trying to get a better sense of interpretation on a certain style, the answers are in the recordings for sure. In general, a little bit more focus on time and as we mentioned, note weightings and listening in for your lead players. I think that's going to really help. So the lead players, you have that responsibility of really setting down time, note weighting, inflection that you work in your rehearsals, but just where the feel of the thing is, getting back to that swing shuffle. How does it feel? How much behind the beat are you playing? How loose are the eighth notes, or how much do you want to push the time? And that's a responsibility. Obviously, the director is going to kind of indicate what we're looking for, but oftentimes it's the lead players that you have to kind of listen in for to have that understood. Saxes in general, good sound as I mentioned, but go for a bigger sectional sound that blends better when the full band is playing tutti. With that in mind, the bones, similarly, could have a little bit more contribution to the full ensemble sound, and match your individual sounds in the trombone section and really go for accuracy, especially on some of those featured soli moments. I thought the double time segment felt really good in Chelsea Bridge. So nice job in sort of getting in and out of that, and that's not the easiest thing to do. Trumpets, when we get into those unison figures, make sure you're really listening closely for not only pitch, but obviously matching timbre, so it has a good, secure feeling to it, because there's nowhere to hide when you're playing in unison. In Manteca, I think right at the start, you may want to bring down the rhythm section when the saxes enter. It's just a little entrance, and then you kind of get into some more stuff, but it created a little bit of a clarity issue. I mean, I love the percussion at the start with the timbales and the whole thing, and that was awesome, but it kind of overplayed the saxes when they came in. When the guitar is comping under the trombone solo, maybe the guitar could start a little more sparse and maybe a little less volume, and then that will help the trombone to build. And leave space in all the solos. Leave space. Miles Davis once said, some of my best notes are the ones I didn't play. right? So leave space and don't be afraid to do that, especially at the start of a solo. Take an idea, what we call a motive or motif, and develop it. Develop it. It could be a rhythmic motif. It could be a melodic motif. And see how that develops over time, over the chord sequence. Really great job with your trombone solo. Really enjoyed that. And the rhythm can come down a little bit on that trombone solo. We talked about the contribution in the trombone section, and that's an area there where maybe they don't have to work so hard if the rhythm section will come down a little bit more to let them speak. I had an idea maybe you could play around with a dialogue between the piano montuno and the timbales. So it's not necessarily they're always playing together. They can do a bit of that, but it might be kind of cool for them to play off of each other. And as always, timbale, when you have your fills, make sure you're listening back to the drummer for time. This is very easy. We can kind of push ahead and rush, and then you kind of lose the feel a little bit. But Lovejoy, love the band, like your name. It was a terrific experience to get to listen to you play. I hope you had a good time in preparing for it. And as I mentioned earlier, I wish you all the very best of luck for your continued musical endeavors. Thanks, folks.